Science is real as a soundtrack.
I like that.
I have been admonished, and we haven't even started. I have a goggle. I'm putting on my.
Remember the honeymooners said, "I'm sterile."
Yeah. Our next guests are showing us an easy experiment. You know what? The term easy is subjective because we're dealing with me, and how you can do all this stuff at home to get your kids excited about STEM, about science. You're already a scientist, so you're ahead of the
It's all
game.
good stuff, though. Now, we've told you about the New York Hall of Science before on New York Living, and the museum is a world-class destination for learning and play, welcoming 500,000 students, teachers, and families each year. This is an amazing place. They revamped it not that long ago. There's some great stuff going on there, and they brought some of it here.
Because they're also offering meaningful work experience for high school and college students through their Explainer program, where those young adults help visitors understand the science behind nice-size exhibits and demonstrations. Well, this should be on our college tour. Sheesh. Joining us live this morning is Chuck McDonald, the museum's manager of training and content, along with Ian Jones, a nice-size explainer. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Goggles on, I assume.
The goggles on.
You're going to need to have on your gloves and your goggles because we're going to be doing a very interesting experiment today.
Wow. Did you always know you wanted to do this? Because I feel like you came out of the womb wanting to do science.
Well, you see, I really do enjoy like the STEM fields and science in general. And this program helps me to really show off these concepts and bring it really home to like the kids too.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you're the explainer. Who's the explainer?
Ian's the explainer.
He's the explainer. So that experience to you, why is it so important to you to be part of that too?
So pretty much when you think of science concepts, it can really be like intimidating, just almost like you need to have a sort of talent or like you have to be born with it just to get into these fields. But through the Explainer program, we kind of show that science is accessible to everybody from all ages, from as young kids to even like our older visitors. You can just learn a concept and it might not be to your most like utmost understanding.
Right.
But it's easy for us to show off these demonstrations and sort of spark some sort of curiosity in you.
Right. Break it down to simpler parts and you can understand.
We mentioned at the top a very important word, explainer, which I think when I was coming up, if someone really explained to me what I was learning in science, I would have been so much more engaged. And I think what you guys are doing is so important because you are explaining the science, which to me looks like this in my head.
So you would be a rocket scientist if you had an explainer? Is that what you're saying?
I would be on, Mars, the rover.
I knew that was in you. I knew that was in you.
Talk to us about what it means to be an explainer, because I feel like this is a novel approach for young folks.
All right, so in terms of what an explainer really is, we help out along the floor through the museum. We show off the various concepts and different exhibits that we have, while also helping our visitors and patrons sort of understand the concepts without it seeming like overbearing or just like this is something that you had to be in a lab for years on end to like understand.
See, I'm sold. Anyone can go. Even Mike behind the camera can go.
So before we get going with this experiment, though, talk to us a little bit about the home resources and that type of a setup that you guys have at the museum.
So we're doing a version of an activity that's definitely not for the at-home audience, right? But we do on our website. We do have access to at-home resources. We have our YouTube page. If you go into YouTube and type in NICEI, you'll find lots of at-home resources. Go to nicei.org, you can find there. But at the at-home resource of this particular activity, we're just using something you can find in your medicine cabinet, which is hydrogen peroxide, and something you can find in your cupboard, which is yeast. And you can do what we're going to do today on a smaller scale.
Yeast and hydrogen
peroxide. Okay. All right. Well,
Ian the explainer.
Let's do it.
It's time to explain.
Alrighty, so let's get this experiment on the road. First things first, I'd like to turn your attention to this flask here. What we have in this flask at this given time is some hydrogen peroxide.
Okay.
You can find most of these in your medicine cabinets at home, but this is a little bit on the stronger side.
Oh, it's what the scientists.
A little higher percentage.
Exactly.
Okay. Does it still sting if I use that on a cut? The same way
It
more.
stings way.
It
way
will
more.
sting, all right.
It goes from ow to
You'll be doing a lot more than cleaning the cut,
have a
I'll
chart
tell
they
you
show
that.
you.
Okay, fine.
Alrighty, so in this case, this is where we're going to involve you guys because you're going to help us out.
Here's trouble.
First things first, we're going to take some dish soap and I'm going to squeeze a large amount to the inside of our flask here.
I thought that was blue dye at first, but it's
So
dish
I
soap.
did too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Got to get a nice good squeeze for the sake of our
That's
experiment.
a lot of
here.
dish soap.
A lot of
Oh
dish
yeah.
soap.
Trust me, we're gonna need it.
What is so that's peroxide?
Is it like a concentrated dish soap, or is it just kind of the regular, typical, like Dawn or something like
Yep.
that?
what
Or-
you
Yep.
use.
Typical.
Yeah.
yeah,
Regular old
dish
dish soap here.
Okay.
So, for the next step, we're going to ask Chris here take some of our food coloring.
This is food color.
Yes, that's
I
our
wonder
food.
how that'll look on this shirt.
Please be.
Yes.
So now, how much of this am I squeezing in?
You're going to want to use both hands. You're going to squeeze a
really?
whole
Like you mean
lot
it.
inside.
Oh.
Just really get on in there.
Why are we adding food coloring?
So, the reason we're adding food coloring and dish soap is so we're going to watch what happens when hydrogen peroxide breaks down.
Yep.
Right there, that's good. So,
Now what? I'm gonna
all
make
right,
sure I don't
yep,
squirt this
be
on my shirt.
careful
Hang on.
there. You don't want to spill that on any shirts.
There we go.
Okay. You can just place that over on the side right there.
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
So, what we're actually trying to show off with this experiment here is how hydrogen peroxide breaks down.
Oh.
Hydrogen peroxide is very special because its chemical makeup is H2O2, very similar to water, which is H2O.
Right.
When it breaks down, it starts turning into basically a puddle of water and oxygen gas.
Okay.
But that takes a while to happen. So what we're going to do for this experiment is we're going to speed up that process.
Speed it up.
You clever scientist type. I see what's going
So
on.
as you can see, Chuck here is getting our stuff all mixed together,
Oh, boy.
making
Okay.
it one nice good compound mixture
Okay.
here.
Oh, the constant mixture.
Right now, Marisol,
Yes.
you have the most important task out of everything.
No pressure. I'm glad
Very
you put it on her.
important.
No
What do I
pressure.
do?
Don't
Just going
mess
to move
this up.
some things out of the way.
Okay.
Move this funnel, and what you're going to do is you're going to grab this beaker over here.
Okay.
So would you please grab this beaker?
What's in the beaker?
This beaker contains a very special liquid known as, oh, I wouldn't want to smell that.
Known as don't smell it.
I'm a nosy
Too late.
journalist. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes.
You walk.
You're going to waft the fumes.
Yeah, don't go right in. It's not wine. It's not a wine segment this time.
Okay.
This beaker contains a fluid known as potassium iodine, and it's very special because it works like a catalyst.
Oh.
Now,
That's the
the reason we're going to add this to our mixture here is we're just going to give our hydrogen peroxide a little push in the right direction to really
To
speed
see
up.
it break down.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
On the count of 3,
Okay.
you're going to bring it over to the top of the beaker, and
Yeah.
you're just going to pour it in. Take a step back.
Okay. Step
3.
back. I have on heels.
Oh, yes.
So me
3,
No, you gotta be fine.
2,
I feel good about that.
1, go in.
Dios mío.
Pour. Keep pouring.
Faster, faster,
Pour.
faster.
All right. Looks like nothing's happening right now.
Let's go.
I think
Here
the
he
O's,
goes.
the extra O's are separating.
Yes.
Here
So
they
what's
come.
happening here is the potassium iodine is speeding up the breakdown of the hydrogen peroxide. It's turning into oxygen gas
look at
and a
that.
puddle of water. So the water will stay at the bottom.
Because it's heavier.
Yes, and look at that.
The air is coming. Oh,
Here it goes. Here it goes.
About ready to go.
And there it goes.
Look at that, huh?
It's like a little volcano in the studio.
Science.
Going.
How cool is that?
We gotta
Very
get out
nice.
more. We gotta
We-
get out
we
more
do.
because this
This
is the most
is
exciting
cool.
thing I've done in my whole.
Look at this.
Look at how
the way
it turns all the
yeah.
way around.
Yeah.
That's
This is
interesting.
It doesn't stop. It keeps
This
going.
is fantastic.
Keeps going.
Thank you
like
both
art.
so
Yeah.
much. Science is important and it's cool and it's fun and I learned so
All right,
much.
is there a turn?
everywhere.
Can you turn this off?
Oh,
Is there a
I
switch?
wouldn't want to go a little
I'm
bit
just kidding.
quicker.
I don't think
So
this is ever gonna
if
stop.
you notice here, you see this gas that's
there's
coming
gas.
off. That's pretty much the oxygen gas that's escaping from the bubbles.
Yeah.
And the soap is trapping the rest of it and turning it into this foam.
And it actually smells nice.
This looks
It
like
does,
Jabba the Hutt
right?
now. What is? Look at this. Just
This is
kind of.
fantastic. You
Red
know what?
color.
If these fancy jobs on TV don't work, we can do
We
this
can
all
always
day.
do this. I'd love this.
Sign you guys up as
It's
explainers.
not a bad job. No. Thanks, guys, so much. This was really awesome stuff.
Yeah.
No
Thank you
problem.
guys
Thank you for
having us.
having us.
So great.